Hello everyone, this is Joycelina and welcome back to the Just Vanilla server. I'm here by my spider spawner. Oh, you know what? I think I forgot my spider killing annihilator. My spider annihilator. I'm gonna have to run back and get that. Those guys are loud, aren't they? I'm here because I was able to go by the shops and found some mending books. So I have mending on my fortune pick, which I call the Joy of Fortune, my fortune axe, the Axe of Fortune, and I think I showed you Silky Joy, my Silk Touch pick. So I am going to repair those. Oh, and also on my diving mask. So now this one has Respiration 3 and Aqua Affinity in mending. So I'm going to mend those up, but not without my Spider Annihilator. Which once I get it here, I'll probably just keep it in a chest nearby. Hopefully I don't have it in a chest nearby. Watch me walk this whole way, only to have it over by the spider spawner. That would be my luck. I'm also waiting. So Frilioth, if you haven't been to his YouTube channel, I will link to it in the description if I remember. If I don't, leave me a note and then I'll remember. He's gonna stop by and help me with my spider spawn, not my spider spawner, with my AFK fishing farm. So I have done so much to try to get that thing to work. Okay, Spider Annihilator, come with me. So, I'll show you this while we're up here, and it's daytime. Holy cow, you get to see something in the daytime. I added to my dock here, so now I have these nice little gates. So there's more room. I'll probably put some crates and maybe a workbench or two, decorate it here. I have had to use this quite a bit because in my testing, trying to get my AFK fishing farm to work, I've used up durability in my fishing rod. So fortunately it has mending on it, so I just stand out there and do some fishing. But I mean, I've tried everything. I changed this back to an iron trap door, excuse me. I've changed this back to a just a pressure plate rather than the half slab, although in the past I've had half slabs work. I've tried every single tick formation of this. I even tried adding another repeater here because somebody on the server said that they needed 5, and all it was doing was opening and closing the door. I even took out the blocks that were here, thinking that maybe since there were blocks here, it might have been disrupting things. I have tried everything, so I am looking forward to Frilioth coming and helping me out, because I am now at a loss. This all worked fine before I built anything around it, and once I built stuff around it, it stopped working. So I'm not quite sure, and I'm wondering, is it even having this door here? It could be. That's one thing I haven't changed, is moving the door. I've removed the door and it wasn't working, but I haven't, I don't know. I don't know. So anyway, I'm gonna go and fix my stuff down at the spider spawner because somebody's in the end. So the great thing about an ender farm is, wow, you get lots of levels really fast when the endermen are there. But if somebody's exploring, or if somebody's going to the cities in the end, the endermen just don't spawn at a good solid rate, and so it makes it challenging to use the ender farm as a way of getting XP. So I might as well just come down here and use my spider spawner. Oh, but in my searching, did I show you this already? I can't remember. In my searching, we have a skelly spawner, and it's not that far from the other one. It's too far for me to AFK and get both of them to work, but it's not that far. So what I'm thinking of doing is having these once they die. Well, yeah, I'm thinking, and so sorry for the hesitation. So I'm thinking that, we'll have them die, but it'll be close by. Maybe have them float down a little bit closer to here before they die, so that you don't have to travel too far. But it has to be within 8 blocks, so you can stand someplace where you're killing them and them still spawn. So I guess it won't be too far away from the spawner. But have it to where this is all nice and accessible and eventually we'll pretty it all up. And what I'd like to do is then go up to the surface, create another portal so that I can make it public. So if anyone wanted to come out and use either to get spider eyes and string, or if they wanted to get bones and bows and all the stuff that come from having a skelly spawner, that would be accessible to public people. But they'd have to come all the way out here, so they might not be interested, but at least opening it up. I'm not really here to make money off the server, just kind of gonna let things do what they're gonna do. So anyway, with that, I will come back to you once we get to whatever I'm doing next. So I can't decide. I'm thinking I might work on the skelly spawner, and trying to figure out a way of being able to show you some of that work without you going through and watching the tedium of me building a skelly spawner farm. Or I might come back once Frilioth and I have figured out the fishing farm and figure out what we're going to build next up there. There's lots to do. So I'm not sure which project I'm going to do next, but you'll know in just a moment. Oh my goodness, what a fiasco. I should have hit the record button. I'm sorry I didn't. It would have been live entertainment. So I was repairing my my Silk Touch pick, and it also has efficiency 5. And one of the nice things about the way this Spyder XP Farm works is that the XP doesn't come through here, but it's down here. So you can switch to what you want to have repaired. So I've got, both items in my hand. So I had Silky Joy in my hand, went back up, forgot to switch back to the sword, accidentally hit this block. Pandemonium ensued as all the guys started coming out and chasing me and trying to kill me. And so I'm trying to swipe them all. The block then, this slab then goes and it's falling in the hopper, so I can't get to it easily. I finally put a block of wood in, and then go and I retrieve the stone block, the half slab, take out the wood, try to put it in the half slab. It disappeared. It didn't just like fall or whatever, because these guys were in the way. I click, I put it in, it just completely disappeared. So I tried to put in another piece of wood, but I didn't put it in this space. I put it in the space behind, but I thought I put it in the right place. So I go and I make myself another half slab, come back, and then I have a second wave of spiders. This time they were everywhere. So the spider spawner works really well, and I had enough XP down here to fix this pick already. So I'm working on, and my diving mask. So working on the other stuff, but oh my goodness. Be careful not to, see, I almost did it again, not to forget to switch back to the sword. That would be my note. So, adieu for now. Well, irony of all ironies, I'm here at Stickies Base. This is actually a big project he's working on, and he's asked me to come fix his spider spawner farm, which after the shenanigans that happened earlier would be pretty funny. But I don't know where he's at, so I'm going to hunt him down. He's working on this huge project, which is so cool. This is like a temple that he's working on, and I am extremely impressed with the work that he's doing. I think it's fantastic. So somewhere in here, probably, with all this mining out, he may have stumbled across a spawner, and so he's working on it. So I don't know. Pretty big project, and I don't know what he has planned, but it's coming slowly but surely. This is all getting, he's putting the slabs through here, which is nice because it's supposed to prevent spawns, except for it only prevents the spawns if you have it on the block above. So when it's the same level as everything else, stuff will still spawn on your slabs. So anyway, that's just a heads up. I'm going to go look for him and see what we can do about his spider spawner, which may be resulting in many deaths for me. Who knows? I'll talk to you soon. Okay, so Sticky, I don't know if you saw him swooping in right as I was signing out. So somebody else did this for him. I'm waiting to make sure things aren't spawning. I'm going to look at it a little bit more, and I can see some things that I need to work on. One is probably would do good to have a half slab up there, so I'm going to cut into his stuff a little bit just so I can get me some blocks and maybe a room to work. You know, I got just enough wood for the crafting table. I hope I don't need anything else. If so, I'll ask him for it. So let's get us a half slab there, or stone slab. I always call them half slabs. So stuff is lighting up over there. So I'm trying to make sure that everything is unlit. I'm not sure where his kill chamber is, but I need to make sure I don't break into any redstone, because one of the things that Enderman did, that's the name of the person that worked on this farm, was create the lamps, which I have not done in mine, and so that's a great thing if you can get that. Having the lamps in really is helpful. But I want to make sure that nothing's gonna attack me. Whoa, like this. This is exactly what I was trying to avoid. Trying to light things up so that the spawner is not going to spawn anymore. So I'm going to see what I can do to clean things up. I think that actually the water is probably doing a little too much flowing, but it's not flowing things in an accurate manner in a way that is helpful. So I'm going to work on that and see about what we can do to help the water flow, to actually get the guys to go where you want them to go. And that's the important thing. So right here, they were flowing the wrong way. Let's see. So they come down here and see they're getting stuck here and they're not going any farther. Again, so the water's not, oh, well, it looks like there should be water here. So the water's not pushing them where they need to be pushing them. And that's an important thing to make sure that gets done, is that when they get to a spot that they're actually going to continue to go in that direction. So see, right now this is going to get stuck here. Really, oh, well, a spider jockey. Great. Thank you. This is the adventure of creating a mob spawner, is especially working on one that's already been created, is it does get a little difficult. Well, good grief. No wonder it's not working. This is just like a lot of effort. Okay, I'm going to have to figure this out, because this is not going to work well. It's actually way too big. So I will get to you in a bit. Okay, so I have cleared out all of the water from this spider spawner, although I still hear spiders spawning. I thought I lit this place up good enough, but clearly no. They keep coming on. So the lights here are also not going to keep spiders from spawning. So I'm not sure. Jeepers, I would have thought that the light level was enough. I mean, I've got torches everywhere, but apparently not enough. See, they just come from everywhere. Everywhere. Okay, stop. Best thing to do, light up the actual spawner. There we go. Take that, you spawner. So, yeah, I'm still not sure why the other design was to come down here. It might have to do with how the lights are wired up, but they come down here, turn again, and come down here where they get stuck, and then apparently you can whack on them from the top. Which, I mean, this part I get, you know, and you come down here to be able to get the XP and get the drops. So it just is not working efficiently because they're having to travel so far and the water was not running clearly. But the biggest thing to me is I don't want to mess up the redstone having to do with the lights, but I don't know where that redstone is. So that's where I'm a little confused. I think this is the way. Is this the way up to the spawner? Yeah, I think so. Up here somewhere is where I broke in. So I need to figure out how this is wired up so that I don't break it, because that would be unfun if I broke however it was wired up. It looks like there might be a level above me. No? So I'm going to figure that out. And then you know, if that's where he wants his kill box to be, it's interesting. He didn't Sticky didn't design this, somebody else did. But if he wants the kill box there, I gotta figure out where the rest of the redstone is so I don't break it. And then if it's okay, if I'm not going to break anything, I'd rather just switch. If this stays the kill box, I'd rather just switch from right over there rather than having them travel all of this way to get down here. So not quite sure. It would be just easiest to have the kill chamber, like right here, so that wherever he's standing is, you could have the kill chamber here, and wherever he's standing is close enough to allow them to spawn, and they'll just keep pouring in. So that's what I'm going to work on next and see if I can't get it to work. One of the things is he just had water coming and it just kept cascading down, but it was getting stuck in the corners. And so one of the easier ways to do it is to have the water come and then stop, and then another water pushing them towards the pit that you want them to go to. And they were probably also getting stuck on this because they would bounce and then get stuck, bounce and get stuck. So it's going to be real important to get them to one spot and probably not come down so many levels. So this may take me a few minutes to figure out, but I'm certainly going to try to do my best and make this work for Sticky so he can get all the goodness that comes with having a spider spawner. Okay, so I did some searching around the lights because one of the things I wanted to know is how this was wired up. And it looks like there's a flip-flop here. And then it looks like whatever block here existed got mined away. And in fact, I can't tell, but I think the switch for the light switch is actually lighting that rail, or vice versa. Is that whatever is lighting this rail? Oh, that's being lit by this. I'm like, I hope they're not interacting. So anyway, so this is very cumbersome. This is a lot of just redstones and repeaters to make sure that it was available down here, but you'll see when I turn it on and off, that goes on and off. This line will switch on and off. But it's not doing anything up here. So this one, because there's no connection, it doesn't affect this block at all, which means this never gets turned on or off. So I have a feeling we're going to have to undo that. So I think what I want to do is just make the basically the kill chamber and all of that, and then try and figure out what in the world we need to do to make the lights work. So I think my first priority is really going to be the spiders and getting that where it's easy to do, easy to find, and then it can get done straight away. So I will get to that and see you. Hopefully next time I see you, it will actually be done. We'll see. Okay, so at this point I have I've actually dug out some additional space. So one of the things with this spider spawner before, the earlier version only was 1 block below. So it was 3 blocks above and 1 block below, which didn't give you as much spawning room, and room dedicated to spawning the spiders. Especially given their size, you want to make sure that there's plenty of room for them. Again, added the slab stone on top. Came in, so it's 7 blocks and then down a row, and then 1, 2, 3, and then down 3. So that's how that goes, and then you go back, and so this will be the killing chamber. So they'll come in here, and right around here we'll put in our hoppers and our walls and stuff like that. So I decided there has to be signs here to stop the water, and so that's one of the things that was missing. So I put a sign here: all spiders must sacrifice for the living. So that will be put in place, and then when we put the water along here, it'll flow down. It will not go over this place. Then we'll add water to come in each way here, and then we'll add water sources here to push the spiders this way. And then here is where we'll put our kill chamber, and we'll add on, trying to get as many blocks. Again, trying to do things with the as much of the stone brick as I can. I have the luxury now that since I'm using my Silk Touch pick, any stone I'm mining is coming up actual stone. So I've been trying to do some blocks so that anything that I've placed since then, he's going to recognize and not dig through it. So he'll know, oh, Joycelina put in some brick here, so I need to make sure whatever I do, if I touch that, I'm going to mess up her design. So trying to kind of add that, like, don't dig here, because otherwise someone might build a gaping hole here. So that might be something that I go and fine tune and make sure that it's all brick as opposed to the different stones, so that he knows for sure, hey, this stone needs to be only stone brick, so that's stuff that not to get into. Anyway, so once I get more stuff set in here, I'll bring you back, and hopefully I'll bring you back before I put in the water. Hopefully I'll remember. Then that's where we're at. And I've gotten a few levels since I've started this. Yeah, the bad guys, they love me. They just want to spend time with me. Look, I even got a golden helmet from one and a bow from another. So they're very nice, very kind. They give me painful kisses, though, so I don't like them very much. Anyway, I'll be back in a bit. See ya. Okay, for this part of the spawner, this is just a real quick update. I'm cooking some iron. I had 2 hoppers from the old design. I need a 3rd one. Not sure if I'm going to have enough iron to do that, as well as I need to make some trapdoors, iron trapdoors for on top of here. But this is pretty much this part of the design. So try to see what I showed you. So actually, one of the things I went back and looked at what I had done, this line here needs to be even with the top of this here. So almost like if I had put the floor in, this would be the wall going up. So that needs to stay. I think I had dug this out, but it actually needs to stay so that this is only 2 high. And then I came back 3 because I want to make sure there is room for the entire spider to get there. And then we're going to put in the slab right here. Whoops, that's not a slab. Put the slab right here. Okay, seriously? I need to figure out where my fingers are. Here, that's a slab. There it goes. And the stair goes there. So that this space is not going to be large enough for them to get through, and especially the trapdoor will ensure that it is high enough that you'll get the little heads in the way and you can smack them. And because they're not cave spiders, in this version, you can get right up close and personal. They're just regular spiders. So I'm working on this portion, seeing how much I can get cooked up. Oh, look, there it's done. And then the final step will really be to put in the water. One of the things, it took me a little while. I wanted to make sure, here, I'm going to do this just so I can mess this up again. Wanted to make sure that I made it all brick. So you'll see, oh, almost. Put these 2 back. That was my escape route. Yeah, so we're getting really close to getting this all done. So I will let you know once I see it's working. Oh, and just, I got to the part where I put the chest down just to make sure, so I do have enough hoppers. This hopper goes into the chest. This hopper goes into that hopper. And make sure this hopper goes into that hopper. So you kind of shift click and click on that. In case you've never used hoppers before, most of you are probably way better redstone experts than I will ever hope to be. But you know, no one ever explains the basics. They just say, put a hopper, put a hopper, put a hopper. And then you're like, spend 5 hours trying to figure out why something's not working. You're like, oh, I needed to shift click on the other one so that it fed into it. Okay, so anyway, just thought I'd share that before we're moving along and almost ready. So all I got to do is the trapdoors. I'm not sure if I have enough iron. I think 8 might be enough. Look, I almost put a stair on there again. No, I need 4 more iron ingots. So I will find that. And then actually, you know, I might just try it without, because I'm not sure the size of these spiders are a little bit bigger. It might be okay. And then you have more whacking room. So I'm going to test it And I'll be back once I know what's what. You know, I thought I'd record this because this just might end up being the funniest part. It may not actually get included, but of all the times that I'm vulnerable, now's the time. So let's see how this actually goes, especially once I start taking stuff down. So like I said, so there's water sources on every single block. You'll see because of my signs, well actually, the signs are going to be for this water source. You'll see it stops right there. So that was one of the things in the previous version that was not happening. It kept cascading down, and then they were jumping in the water and they weren't getting pushed the right way. Whereas this is supposed to actually push them towards where they're going, and then they'll get to the next source that will push them. So they're not jumping as much. They're not trying to jump out because it's not, you know, as it's pushing them, and then they're going to stop jumping. They'll just settle down. So that's an important thing, is to try your best to get those stoppages of the water so that they're in the next spot and they're hitting where you want them to hit. And so once it didn't make a source in the middle. Did it? No. I don't get that. Anyway, see? Because now it's going to swish it off to the side. That's not what we want. Okay, let's try again. Water source, ahoy. I don't get it. Minecraft, why you's got to be so complicated? Just give me a water source right there. You're taking and you're not giving. So I guess that's good enough. I guess it's working as good as it's going to work. So see, they'll get stopped right here. But they're small enough that they'll fit right underneath there. In fact, you know what? I did not have extra slabs. I'm like, I have extra slabs. Let me get a few extra slabs. I think I'm going to make this half slabs across this whole thing because of the size of the spider. Since they're 2 wide instead of 1, I want to make sure that they're dipping down and getting right underneath that early enough. So that should be it. And then I'm going to go through and cut out all the lights, including the lights that are stuck on. I'm going to make sure that they get turned off. Oh, that's this way. Oh, actually, I can get it this way. And we needed a pathway down, so I'm going to make some type of pretty easy pathway down. I don't want to do anything too complicated. He can make it all decoraty if he wants to. So let's, for now, turn these off. I guess I could have just done that, huh? Ah! Okay, let's tell him. I'm going to check to see if it works. I got to take out all the torches. This is the hardest part, getting the torches taken out without, like, dying. Make sure blocks are on bar. Okay. Okali-dokali. Okay, I think we're going to... How do I do this? How do I do this safely? I need to be able to get around to the other side. I'm thinking. I'm concentrating. That's why I'm silent. Yeah, so making a little ridge here. Hopefully, that will allow me to get around to all of these. And then once, as I'm backing out, more blocks, please. Thank you. As I'm backing out, I can take things down. They'll start spawning, but the ridge will help them to not be able to get to me, at least not as easily. That's the plan. That's how I think it's going to work. Let's see if it does. Taken out. So those were all, well, can I not reach that one? Doggone it. Those will all go in the hopper, so I'll be able to get them back. No big deal. I'm very much about the resources. I hate wasting resources. It's like, you know, I'll be the person that will, oh, we should watch. Okay, there they go. Yeah. See, this is why we do that. So I do need to have that row back up because they are larger. They're not going to go down that hole. So this needs to be too wide. That needs to be too wide. And that needs to be up higher. Okay. Well, now let's put the lights back in. See, it's good testing this out. Now we know. The truth of the matter is, what works for a one high mob does not work, or what works for a one wide mob does not work for a two wide mob. You know, and I haven't checked on the wiki, but I bet you that means that they're a little bit taller as well as wider than a normal, a cave spider. Okay, so I got more work to do. It wasn't as easy as I thought it was going to be, so I'll be back. More work for Joycelina. Okay, well, it looks like I've got Sticky's spider spawner working. It is, yeah, it's working just well. They're kind of driving me crazy with all their noise. I've been doing a few things just to make sure. Whoops, I always do that. There we go. Yeah, been trying to actually repair my pick from all the picking. So, it's not a great XP grinder, but if you want to get the drops, it's fine. I am not a redstone expert, but I think if you have a little bit more skill, all you'd have to do is right along probably like this block. You could have some redstone, a sticky piston, push that in. That would block them in. And then you could actually just have a series, but make sure that like this one closes first and then close these 2 or 3 in. Well, you'd close these 2 in. And I think that would crush them because it would leave them only this one block that they'd be in. So yeah, so then you just push these 2 in. So this one first, have some type of delay, push these 2 in, and you'd have to do that on both sides. And then they would basically suffocate within the wall. You could do it, you could set it for a certain amount of time so you didn't kill them all the way if you needed to have the XP, and then you could easily get them down in health so that they would be able to be killed, you know, like with one swipe of your hand without even having to use a sword. This way, whatever sword that you use to kill them, you're going to want it to have mending on it. Otherwise, it's going to chew through your diamond sword. So this one is just sharpness and fire aspect, which since they're sitting in water, does no good. It's just wasting me. I don't have my spider annihilator over here at his place. That's how that's working. Lights off, lights on. Look, that's all the redstone I needed. I don't even do redstone. This was like complicated. Sticky's not around, but there's definitely sporadic placement of the lights. I would probably do it in more of a grid pattern. Probably could include more than the ones that are here, because even with them on, you can see I've killed everything, but they're still spawning. So there's not enough light coming in from those. Actually, I found even with tons of torches all over the place, I was still getting a number of spiders. So I think that's going to be his biggest issue, is how to actually turn this off if he's working around here. Because this is really close to his, not his base, but like his secondary base, the temple thing that he wants to build. And I think there's going to be times where he's going to be within 16 blocks of that spawner, which is what you need to be in order for it to fire off. So, you know, this is only about, I'm trying to remember, this is probably only about 4 or 5 blocks here. So this is 5 blocks away from the spawner. So you'd have to go another 10 blocks out before you're not firing that off. Probably 10, actually 11 or more. So you probably would have to be well along here in order for that to not be firing off. So that might be a problem for him. And I would suggest that he get somebody way better at redstone than me to come and make sure that there's sufficient lighting to keep the spiders from spawning. Might even need a few in the wall, which means this would all have to push out. So I'm gonna, as it is, I'm gonna have to push his pathway down over some. But I think that's gonna be it for today. This was not what I was expecting to do today. It's not even the long list of things like things I want to do for on the server and things I was hoping to tackle. This was not among them. In fact, I have my own skeleton spawner I want to get to. But this was fun, and I'm glad to do it for somebody else. And with that, I will bid you adieu. Ooh, sorry. Close-up. Am I ready for my close-up? No, I'm not. So I will see you next time.